Derek, other than doing your own research on a particular opportunity, what assets are you using to evaluate risk? Um, Most people misevaluate risk. Most people think that volatility equals risk because that's what you're taught in business school. And even at the most premier universities in the world, they teach volatility. They use that as a proxy for risk in a lot of academic formulas. And volatility does not equal risk. The volatility creates uncertainty, and uncertainty makes stocks go down. People pay for certainty in the stock market. When they have a high level of certainty, whether they're right or wrong, but when they believe they have a high level of certainty about an outcome, then things get priced a certain way. And when you have tariffs and wars and different macroeconomic factors at play, or political factors at play, then it causes uncertainty, and then stocks go down. And we just watched that happen the past 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, however you want to look at it. So I think about risk differently. I think, is a stock riskier? If you had the same company and, is priced at $100 versus $10 with no other information, well, I'd rather buy it at $10 than $100 because it looks like there's a lot more downside of the higher priced stock. So, and people think about that differently than I do, but even the ones that have PhDs and teach this stuff tend to have a lower net worth than I do. So if you're a teacher of finance, if you're a teacher of business, probably you shouldn't be broke. Probably you should have some financial results. Probably you should have run a business or invested in some businesses and know something about it, not just some bullshit you wrote in a textbook with zero business experience outside of academia. So I don't have a lot of respect for some of these business academics. Most of them are full of shit, and most of their models are full of shit. And if you know which ones are valuable and which ones are full of shit, that's a great advantage. And we cover that a good amount in all of the courses. But Markets Mastery is probably which starts next week, by the way. Markets Mastery is probably the course that covers that the best to understand. If you want to understand how the stock market works and how to make, there's no other vehicle in the world that allows you to make more money quicker than the stock market. There's no other vehicle in the world that would allow you to do that. The real estate doesn't move that fast. Even real estate in the stock market, owning things like REITs or companies that have a lot of exposure to real estate, that moves much faster than being a private investor. So I love the stock market. Made tens of millions of dollars in the stock market. I'm going to make tens of millions. I hope I make hundreds of millions more. I hope I make $1 billion. I'm probably going to make more than that, but I think certainly I'm going to make tens of millions and hundreds of millions more. And people that don't understand how the stock market works are at extreme disadvantage. At an extreme disadvantage that compared to those who do. It'd be difficult for you to have 10% of the income as somebody else who's equally intelligent but has a deep understanding of how the stock market works. It'd be hard for you to make 10% of the money that they could. So don't put yourself in that spot. Be smarter than that. Daniel, what up, Daniel? Says, hi, Derek. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to get your thoughts on how to approach a situation with a new team member. Overall, he's doing really well, proactive, skilled, and integrates well with the team. The only consistent issue I've noticed is that he's occasionally just a bit late with project deadlines. Nothing major, but enough to potentially impact timelines if it continues. Well, you just can't have that, you just can't have that if you're running a business and you have things have to happen in a certain time frame. The world doesn't stop to meet his schedule. So I think you just have to explain that gap. They say, hey, if it's in a team setting and you're having a lateral communication, then you explain to them, when you're late with part of a project, when you're late with information, it impacts all of us and it makes us all look like shit. Creates a negative blemish on the reputation of the entire team. And that's really not a fair thing. And you make a personal appeal in the lateral movement to say that, hey, you make the team look bad, you make me personally look bad, and I just want to point out to you that this is not a behavior that I appreciate. It's not a behavior the team appreciates, and would very much appreciate if that never happens again. Now, if it's somebody that works for you and you're their manager or supervisor, or especially if you write the check, that's a different type of conversation, and you just tell them that hey, if you're going to be late with projects, then you'll understand if I'll be late with your check, right? And if that's a problem, then it'd be good for us to not have you on the team anymore. This is not the standard that I expect you to live up to. It's not the standard that'd be acceptable with the team. So if you're going to submit the thing, at a time that's convenient for you, then you won't mind if we just pay you a lot less, or maybe we just forget to pay you. If timelines aren't important, then that's okay. Then payday's not important, and maybe I'll pay you someday in the future when it's convenient, or maybe I won't. Maybe I won't pay you at all. Is that okay? So if they want you to be respectful of a timeline of like, when is payroll due? When are you going to pay them? Then they should be respectful. Since you're issuing the check, you're the one sending the money. They should be respectful to make sure that any timelines that you request are cheerfully met. And I would just make it that simple. If I asked somebody to get something done and they couldn't do that consistently, I wouldn't even have that conversation. I would just explain to them that somebody else is going to be taking over that position, and they might want to look for something else to do with their life because this isn't working out. So I would just explain that one time, that next time you miss a deadline, don't bother coming to work anymore. You don't have a job anymore. So if you miss a deadline, that's okay. I can't make you get it done on time, but I can hire somebody who will get it done on time. So that's the way that I would look at that. You do what you want, but that changes the tone of how things happen on your teams. That changes the tone a lot. It's like, hey, I can't make you do the thing. If you don't want to do the thing, that's okay. But if you don't do the thing on time, then I'm going to hire somebody else who does do the thing on time, and I suggest you start looking for another job or another opportunity elsewhere because you'll no longer be here. So next time you miss a deadline, you won't be here. Don't bother coming. So I think that's the most effective communication, depending if you have control to communicate in that way, or if it's more of a lateral communication that you have to tell a team member that, hey, that doesn't make us look good. Please don't do that shit.
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. But now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you the pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click that link right now in the description below and apply for your call immediately. Do it now.